Well, what's up, guys? Okay, let me just make a quick file here. Alright. So, I think we're all set. So, I'm just gonna do a quick countdown. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so, first things first, I want to talk a little bit about this category because it might be a little odd for you. But this is a challenge category, it's not an actual official category. Also, in the community, we call these categories meme categories. But I think this one's pretty interesting. So I'm pretty sure you guys gonna enjoy it. So basically, this run will focus in the first part of the game, which is the child section. And well, as you know, there's this intended order in which you are supposed to do these dungeons. You are supposed to beat the Deku Tree first, then the Dungus Cavern, and at the end, Jabba Jabba's Belly. But by using different tricks and glitches, we're gonna be able to do the exact opposite compared to what you have to do when playing casually. So this is gonna be the reverse order, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Yeah, this is gonna be just the child dungeons. It is possible to do all dungeons in reverse order, but in this round I'm just gonna be doing the child dungeons. So I didn't actually come up with this idea. I saw someone trying to run this about 1 year ago or something. So I decided to pick it up and try to improve the route. And right now it's pretty solid. I'm pretty satisfied with how it's looking. So yeah. A few frequently asked questions about Ocarina of Time speedrunning in general. You're gonna see me back walking a lot and rolling like crazy in some places. This is because back walking is actually faster than walking forwards and not rolling. That's very unfortunate. Just walking normally, like you would do casually, it's really slow. So back walk is better for long distances, and rolling is better for shorter distances. Also, the game's in Japanese, because this way we save a lot of time just in text. English has a lot of text, so in cutscenes and places where we have to mash text boxes, Japanese saves a lot of time. But the glitches and tricks work exactly the same in the Japanese and English versions. Alright, so I'm gonna start the run. Before I start doing the actual dungeons, I need to collect quite a few items I'm gonna need. So first, we are going to get the sword, but I'm going to do something interesting that you don't see in a lot of Ocarina of Time runs. I'm running on N64, by the way, Japanese N64. So while I get the sword, I also want to get rupees because I need to buy some stuff from the shop before leaving the forest. Alright. We have the sword. I'm going to keep it in the inventory for now. I'm not going to equip it because there's a glitch that doesn't work if you have a sword equipped. So it's just gonna sit there for a while. Alright, rupees. All good. So now we need more rupees to buy stuff from the shop. So I'm gonna collect a couple more here. Alright, we're gonna visit Midas' house and steal his rupees. I need 35, so we can head to the shop since I'm getting 5 more on my way there. Alright, so I'm going to buy 2 Deku sticks and 5 Deku nuts. And it might seem weird buying these items now since they are actually pretty easy to get in the overworld. But I need them to do some glitches like right after this, so the best option is just to buy them, really. World record would be my PB, which is 42:54. Alright, so this next trick I'm going to do, it's called Aquascape, and it's one of the methods we have to escape the forest. So, you're only supposed to exit the forest once you beat the first dungeon, which is the Deku tree. But there's a precise clip here we can do to actually escape the forest early. Let's see. Alright, that was perfect. Nice. So, I actually need to do that with Deku Stick here, because I cannot equip the sword, like I said earlier. So, that trick's a little bit more difficult with Deku Stick than with sword, but it's fine. I mean, it's still not that bad. So now we're gonna head to Kakariko Village, because we need to get some items from there too. We need the bottle, which is gonna be a really useful item. Also, we want to get explosives. Explosives make things in this game really fast, so we kind of want that. Alright, so I'm going to do another trick here called a Wes. Alright, so what happens is that if you jump slash the wall, you gain speed backwards, and if Link enters water, and then you hold a very precise position in the joystick, which we call the ESS position, the extended super slide position, you can keep your speed backwards, and Link does that weird slide, and it's really fast to travel that way, and it also allows you to skip the owl cutscene right before entering Kakariko, because the game considers Link busy in a busy state, so the cutscene doesn't actually trigger. Wes stands for Water Extended Super Slide, which is that technique I used. Alright, so here we just need to collect Cuckoos to actually get the bottle. There's really not much to it. So yeah, that position I mentioned in the joystick, it's actually pretty precise. It's the minimum amount of input you can actually put into your controller on the joystick. So that input causes Link to just rotate and not move, but that's the position you have to hold to do those slides. It's obviously a lot faster than walking. Alright, so right after bottle, I'm going to do another trick to enter bottom of the well early. And we want to do that because there are explosives in bottom of the well, and we can get them right now with the items we have. And you're not supposed to enter that place until very late in the game, because you need to get as strong as adult Link to actually do it. There's a pretty simple way to go around that and enter that place right now. Hold on, let me do this. We are done with the cocos. Okay, so this trick is what I was talking about. It's called a Nabi dive. Like this. So you talk to Nabi while you're falling, and the game doesn't recognize you. You actually entered the water. Okay, hold on. Let me do this here. So you can just fall right through the water that way. All right. Dang, this angle feels weird. I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah. Okay. Let's just. So that trick there, it's called blank A. And you basically cancel entering the crawl space by throwing a decanet. That's the reason why I needed decanet so early on. That causes Link to enter weird low gravity state in which he can clip through certain walls. So I'm gonna use that to reach the basement of this place. Okay. That should be better. Oh man, okay. Luckily there's a backup deca stick here. Alright. So yeah, you kinda have to get a really precise angle for that trick to work. So we do the setup with ESS turns, which is the minimum amount of input I mentioned earlier. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. We're having some trouble right now, guys, but don't worry, I'll get it soon enough. So yeah, we want to get to the basement of the dungeon because from there we can clip into a little room that has the explosives. So that's the whole point of doing this glitch. Okay. Alright, there we go. Okay, nice. So yeah, we can enter the unloaded basement of bottom of the well and then swim into invisible water to actually reach that little room there that has the chest with the explosives with the bomb juice. You can't enter that little room from you can't enter that little room the way you're supposed to do it because you need explosives to actually reach that chest, which is kind of dumb because you're supposed to have bombs by the time you get here. So now I'm just going to get a shield. And do some equips here. We need this, this, and this. Alright. So I am able to equip the sword now because that trick I did to get the explosives doesn't work if you have a sword equipped. But now that we have the explosives, we can now use the sword freely. So yeah. I just have to get one more thing before starting to complete the actual dungeons. I'm going to do a bottle dupe here, which is basically making the game think that you pressed another button to catch an item instead of the bottle button. So this will cause the game to put the contents that you caught, and override one item, the item you wanted to do from the start. So in this case, I duped Deacon Nuts, so now I have bugs in my Deacon Nuts slot. But the important thing is that I keep the other bottle that I had empty, so I can use it for something else. I'm gonna use it to buy a Poe from the shop in the market. Also, movement in the overworld, it's important here because you need to make it before night to the castle. So you can enter the castle and buy what you need to buy. So we have the Poe. So now we'll just save warp to the forest. And I'm gonna do a very interesting glitch here called RBA, or Reverse Bottle Adventure, which is, it's kind of hard to explain because it messes up the memory addresses in the game. But it's basically writing values to your C right button by getting a bottle on your B button. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Just need to line up correctly. So if I actually overwrite the Poe I have in C right, oh what the hell, man. Okay. If I overwrite the Poe I have in C right, I'm actually gonna be able to modify my bomb chew count, so I'm going to get a lot of bomb chews here. Okay, this should work. Nice. So you'll notice now I have a bottle on my B button, and that gave me 29 bomb chews right away. So basically it works because you trick the game into thinking that you pressed the sword as your last button before re-catching the bugs. But you press the button as you enter water, so Link doesn't actually pull out the sword. So then the game thinks, oh, he pressed the B button instead of the bottle button, so it just puts the bottle in the B button, and I am able to modify memory addresses afterwards. So I don't actually need the bottle anymore on B, so I'm just going to equip sword again. Okay, so I'm going to do Aquascape again, but I now have sword, so it's kind of easier. Just like that. Now I want to go to Sora's domain, and I'm going to do a little trick here to do so. The explosives. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay. Let's do a backup here. Just need to get the angle, and we can go. Alright, so that trick is a mega side hop, which is basically using the explosion recoil to get this really big side hop backwards. And I have to do that to enter that loading zone because you're supposed to play Zelda's Lullaby there to actually like open up the waterfall and be able to reach the loading zone. But you can do it with explosives like that, so I don't actually need the song. So it would be really slow to get it. Okay, so here's another trick that's called King Sword Skip. Okay, nice. So you're supposed to move that guy out of the way by doing a really annoying and slow minigame to get silver scale and then get a bottle with a message inside it and all that. But you can just do that trick called ledge cancel, which is shielding damage while Link is climbing a low ledge. And then you enter in a weird state in which you're allowed to run past NPCs and certain objects to clip into them. So that's a really easy way to skip King Sora there. So we're in the first dungeon. Oh, by the way, yeah, I forgot to explain that last thing I did to enter the dungeon. So you're supposed to use a fish to actually have access to the dungeon, so that Jabu Jabu swallows a fish and you get swallowed too into the dungeon. But by doing a jump slash on those pillars, you can clip a little bit into Jabu Jabu's mouth, and you barely touch the loading zone. So that's really useful. You can skip getting the fish, and you skip the cutscene that plays when you actually give the fish to Jabu. Alright, so this dungeon, it's kind of annoying because we can actually reach the boss like pretty much at the start of the dungeon, but you cannot kill the boss unless you have Boomerang. And to get Boomerang, we have to carry Princess Ruto through the basement and then to the upper part of the dungeon again. So this is actually one of the slowest dungeons we have in the game. Most of the other dungeons are re-broken. We can do them pretty fast. But this one we pretty much have to do half of the dungeon, which is a lot. After we get the Boomerang, we're gonna be able to skip our way straight to the boss. But for now, we have to get that Boomerang the way you're supposed to get it. So this is just a swag super slide that you can do here, since you need to wait for a platform to come down here. So there's really not much we can do. Okay. There it is. yeah, this dungeon in casual playthrough was pretty tough to do. Alright. So we're getting close to that Boomerang. So this is a good example to explain how damage works in this game, the damage that Link deals to the enemies. So there's one attack that Link has, which is the crouch stab. When you shield and then you press B to use the sword to stab while you're shielding. That attack doesn't actually well, it has a very interesting property. It actually deals the damage that your last move does, your last attack does. So for example, if I jump slash with the Deku stick, that does 4 points of damage. So after that, if I jump slash once, I can keep crouch stabbing, and all the crouch stabs will deal 4 points of damage, like the Deku stick jump slash. So it's really OP. You can kill enemies pretty fast with that, and that's what I did there with the Stingers to get the Boomerang. Okay. So here I'm trying to do a Mega Flip, which works pretty much the same as the Mega Side Hop. Just use the recoil of this explosion to do a really big Mega Flip. You can reach places you're not supposed to reach with that. Let me equip here. So that thing I did after pressing that blue switch, you're supposed to put a box on that blue switch so that the door stays opened. But we cannot actually do that because we skipped a pretty big chunk of the dungeon by doing that mega flip there. So there's no box to put in there. So you can press the switch without the box, and then if you roll forward, look for in a specific frame, you can open the door before it closes again. That's pretty neat. That actually, it's pretty lucky that we can actually work our way around that, because it would be really slow doing the rest of the dungeon just to be able to put a box in. Okay, so this was the fast Baronade fight. So let me finish it and I will explain. All right. So Baronade has 3 phases. The first one you just have to hit its tentacles with a boomerang, but then jellyfish come out of her body, sort of, something like that. So by using Deku Nuts and boomerang, you can actually kill the jellyfish really fast, but you need to time it well, because if you don't do so, it will be tougher to hit it with boomerang later. So yeah, that's one of my favorite fights in the game. It feels so fast when you actually get it. And then afterwards, you just want to keep hitting Baronade. But after you hit her, she goes down to like she bursts herself in the ground. So you want to roll into her so that the boss feels like he dealt damage to you. So she'll come up again, and you can continue to fight. You don't actually take damage because there's a few frames that Link has of invincibility when you roll, like at the end of a roll. So you don't actually take damage, but the game does detect the boss hit you, so the boss comes up to the surface again, and you can keep hitting Baronade. Yeah, the Jabu has some complex insides for sure. It's bigger inside than it looks outside, for sure. Alright. So we're gonna save warp here, because King Sora is still in the way, so we can't actually make it back to the forest. But luckily we can just save warp, and we'll end up in Link's house again, and we can proceed to the second dungeon, which is gonna be the Dungus Cavern. Whoa, I got a bad angle, because my controller is kind of dying right now. It's like 15 years old or something, and I really should be getting a new one soon. Alright. So to reach the Dungus Cavern, we have to go through Goron City. We can access Goron City because we already have explosives, so that's pretty neat. Alright. So the Dungus Cavern takes a lot of explosives to actually complete the dungeon. So that's one of the reasons I had to use memory manipulation to get more bomb chews. Alright. Alright, so the first thing we have to do here is get bombs, because bombs are going to be helpful to defeat the boss of this dungeon. So there's a trick we can do here to skip pretty much half of the dungeon, and it's pretty simple, but very neat at the same time. Alright. So by trying to pull out that bomb flower there and shielding damage at the same time, I store a thing called a ground jump. So basically when I try to do something with the A button, once I get that weird ground jump state, Link will do this little jump. He barely jumps, but it's really useful because he can reach ledges like that one there. So I can reach that switch pretty fast. Casually, you're supposed to beat mini bosses and do really slow stuff to be able to reach that switch, but with that ground jump technique, it's really easy and really fast. Alright. One thing that's always really scary about this dungeon is that there are fire keys, which you're gonna see in a moment, and they can burn your shield if they hit you, and that's really bad because the shield is like a super important item to get different glitches. So I'm actually using to my advantage the boomerang I got from the previous dungeon here, so that makes it a little safer to navigate this dungeon because you can kill the enemies from far away. Okay, so I'm gonna kill this guy here, not taking any risks. Okay, so I'm gonna skip one last chunk of the dungeon here by doing another mega flip. Alright, one more frame. Okay. Nice. Alright. So that way we can skip another mini boss and we just land right in front of the bomb's chest. That's neat too. Alright. Now we want to equip bombs and books. So I'm going to access the last part of the dungeon here. Alright. So I'm actually saving here because there's a high chance to get your shield burned, and that would be really bad. And I'm going to try to go for a hard strat here, a hard but fast strat. Just need to kill this guy. So there's a switch here that you have to press with a block, but pushing down the block and all that's really slow. So there's another method. Let me see if I can get it because it's really precise. Okay, that looks like it's going to work, so nice. Okay, nice. That was pretty nice. So the thing there is that if you use Ocarina items, which is basically using a bottle to play Ocarina, don't ask me why it works. It just does. So you can actually play an Ocarina by pressing the bottle button and then another item like sword, for example. So if you do that over that switch, the game actually thinks that you are pressing the switch for a little while. So come on. So you have some time to make it to the door before it closes, but Child Link height is so low that he'll take forever to climb out of the hole. So you actually need to backflip out of the hole, and that backflip is precise. It's really precise. So that's why I kind of came up with my own strat there by pause buffering. It's not 100% consistent, but I get a good ratio of success with that strat. And I'm glad I could show you guys how it looks. I had a backup ready, but the backup's really slow, so that was pretty neat. Alright, so we finished the second dungeon. So now we need to watch this cutscene, but we're gonna head to one of the most interesting parts of the run, which is the Deku Tree. So the thing with Deku Tree is that you usually see it as one of the first dungeons in most Ocarina of Time runs, and you don't really have much items to do it. You probably only have will only have a bottle to run warp at the end of the dungeon, and that's pretty much it. You're not gonna have explosives or anything like that. But in this run, since we had to do the dungeons in reverse order, we now have explosives, and we can do some very interesting tricks in the Deku Tree. I'm actually going to be doing a very new trick that was found by well, it wasn't found by this guy, but he made a pretty cool setup. He's a Japanese speedrunner. His name is Bake Neko. You can look his YouTube channel. He found a way to skip pretty much the whole dungeon by doing a ground clip with a bomb chew, and then landing on the boss loading zone. So you can go straight from the first area of the Deku Tree to the boss room, and it's pretty neat. I'm going to try to show it to you guys. It's still kind of hard for me to do, but I'm gonna go for it. All right, we need this. Like this, it's fine. All right. So another interesting thing is that since we have explosives right now, we can do the Deku Tree cutscene skip, which I'm gonna try to show you guys here. It's pretty neat. It saves only 10 seconds if you do it fast enough, but it's pretty cool. So let's try to do it. Alright. This angle, I don't like it too much. I might actually try to fix it, because I don't like it too much. Okay, that's better. Okay, so we're up in the seam, and now we're gonna be able to access the Deku Tree area without loading the actual area. Okay, so as a consequence, the cutscene doesn't play, so I can just walk straight to the Deku Tree loading zone. That's pretty neat. And we in there. So, okay, let's see if I get the trick I was talking about earlier. Okay, I'm actually going to equip this here. I pulled out the stick there a few frames before climbing the vines because that skips the Navi text. Okay, let's try to do this. Let's go. Let's target again. Didn't like what I saw. Okay. I'm actually... Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, we were 1 frame early. That's fine. So, what's supposed to happen there? It's you jump slash that invisible wall, and you land it on the boss loading zone. There's this backup we can do too. All right. All right. So that backup jump I did there, a lot of speedrunners hate it because it relies on C-up strats, the first person view strats. That can be kind of inconsistent for some players. But that jump actually skips going through the whole basement of the dungeon, so it's pretty good. Alright, so now I'm going to fight Goma, but I'm going to do it in a weird way, so that I can kill her, but at the same time exit the room too, because I want to have access to the room afterwards. This trick is called Goma Clip. Alright. Nice, I got it. Okay. Time will be until I grab the Ocarina of Time. The Ocarina of Time, yeah, so it's... I would say it's still like 5 minutes in. So don't worry, I'll say it when it's about to be time. Okay, so since I clipped through that wall using Goma, I can now exit this room and re-enter. So what that does is that giant door is not there anymore, if you notice. So now I can use that blue warp to ROM warp. And that ROM warp will take me to a weird place that you're gonna see in a moment. But it also skipped the cutscene of me receiving the Kokiri Emerald. And that saves a lot of time. Hold on. I might actually do it just from the door again. Alright, so that took me to Ganon's castle. Surprise! You guys might know this. That's one of the most spectacular tricks that exist in this game, the ROM work. So the way it works, you're basically combining... I'm going to explain this in a very, very simple way. But basically, you combine 2 loading events in the game. Hold on, let me get this here. That's swag super slide. So you basically combine the loading event of opening the door that leads to the Decadry basement and the blue warp, which is also a loading event. And what that causes is the game to warp you into a new location. But it's not as simple as it seems. You actually have to make sure that both loading events happen at the same time, in the same frame. Uh, so, in order to do that, we have to do that weird setup. Once you activate the blue warp by using Ocarina items on it, the trick I explained earlier, to do the switch in Dodon's Cavern, you actually have to lose a little bit of time while you're walking to the door, so that you will open the door to the Deku Tree basement at the same time the cutscene will take you to the blue warp would take you to the cutscene. So it's pretty precise. It's frame perfect. So that's why we do the weird slashes in the side hub there to advance the frame counter of the blue warp to the exact frame that we want, in which it would load the cutscene, so that it combines with the Deku Tree basement loading zone, and luckily that produces the warp to Ganon's castle. So that's a pretty interesting trick that we can do in this game. Okay, so we actually did it. Nice. In the community, usually we end the child dungeons runs once we get the Ocarina of Time. This has been like this for a long time, and it's basically because Ocarina of Time would be the very last thing you do before going adult. So it's just a thing of tradition, I guess. Okay, so I was explaining the wrong word, but I didn't explain to you guys that last part of the run. So when you run warp to Ganon's castle, you can go beat Ganon from there. That's what any percent does. But we actually wanted to get the Ocarina of Time, so I just save warped and I appeared on the main part of Ganon's castle. And I just needed to exit to actually find the child Hyrule Castle. And you saw me do some weird slides there with bombs and bomb shoes. Those are called super slides, and they are similar to the West I explained before. The differences are you cannot change the angle of those slides, and they are faster. The super slides are faster, but you can only go in straight line. Compared to a West, they are faster. And the last super slide I did. Okay, time's coming up. The last super slide I did was actually important because it skips an owl. Okay, time's coming up. And time. Alright. I'm sorry about that sound. It's my splits. I hope it didn't sound too loud. Okay. That should be about a 48 or 47, almost 48. That's pretty good. Anything under 50 is pretty good. I like it. Yo, what's up?
Nice run. My timer says 47:57. Is that accurate?
Yeah, mine says that too. Exactly. Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
Nice.
The closest timer we've had the whole time.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For running.
Yeah. I hope